You're listening to the God Stories Radio podcast with Fritz, Mike, and Tina, bringing hope, comfort, and encouragement through the power of the Christian testimony. Listen live on the Mixlr app and follow us on your favorite platform, including iHeartRadio, Spotify, and radio.com. Stay connected with us on Facebook and Twitter at God Stories Radio.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's edition of God Stories Radio. I'm Fritz.
I'm Mike.
And I'm not Tina.
Yeah, Tina couldn't make it. Also, this is session 252. 251.
Proof that none of us are Tina. Tina would have known that.
Tina would have known that, and she missed a perfect opportunity to give me a hard time. Bummer.
I'm going with 251.
I'm pretty sure you're right. No? 252. That's what I've got.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Because we were 250 and we had Everett, which was 251. Tonight is 252.
Okay.
How about that? I'm not as crazy as I thunk.
Or maybe you just proved you are.
No doubt. And that's the voice of Mr. Joe Ormsby, and he is the host of the What Difference Does God Make podcast. And we are so glad to have you, brother.
Hey, thanks for being here. It's been, I think, about 6 months. Nice to be back on the air with you guys.
Fantabulous.
Great to have him here.
So what's going on, Mikey? Give us a little bit.
A little bit. Well, Junior out of the blue wanted to take me to lunch today.
So bonus.
I jumped right at it. Absolutely.
I would too.
Yeah, we spent about 2 hours, which was pretty darn good.
Fabulous.
2 hours with the sun.
That's great. We all need to spend 2 hours with the sun.
Yeah. Yeah.
S-U-N and S-O-N.
Yeah. And a capital S-O-N.
Amen to that. Wow. I hope everybody's doing good out there in Covidland. It's just a crazy time, guys. It just really is. Joe, what's going on in your world, man?
I live in the Covidland dream these days. Been furloughed since April, so
God bless you.
Yeah, man, it's the new normal. I can't stand that phrase, but I've settled into the reality that this is where we're at right now, and been spending a lot of time with the kids. Liz was able to pick up a job, which has been a huge blessing, and spending the days with both sons.
Okay,
fantastic. What was it you told me the other day? You were phone distancing? Is that what you said?
Yep. Yeah.
Sorry for the late delay. It was phone distancing.
You texted me for some passwords off the other site, and I think it took me about 3 hours to get back to you because, yes, I was cell phone distancing.
Good for you. I wish I could do that.
Gotta get away from the noise.
Right? Noise. Man, what's your noise, Mikey?
Just a lot of Jesus praise worship.
Well, that's not noise. We're talking about distraction.
Distraction?
What's your noise? What's the noise of life?
Got an iPad that I try to put down. Is it gives you an update, or not an update, but it tells you at the end of the week what your percentage of use was. And the last time I saw it says you were 14% less than last week. Thank
good.
you, Jesus.
Wow. That's where less is more.
Yes, it is.
Less is a win.
Absolutely. Absolutely. How about you there, Mr. Fritz? What's been going on in your world?
Well, just a lot of work. The church doesn't slow down for COVID.
No.
You know that as well as I do, and we're busy as ever, and I'm very thankful to have had a job through all of this, and I'm not going to lie. It's been hard work. It's been very confusing, hard work.
Yeah.
And now you get schools going to start up.
Well, I know, right? I just don't get that. Whatever kind of... Yeah, Joe and I talked about this on the What Difference Does God Make podcast. Are you a mask wearer? You're not a mask wearer? Or you believe that school is okay, not that school is okay, but whatever side of that fence you're on, either one could be right.
I sent an email today to all of the influential representatives, government people, governor, etc., with just my opinion today.
Mm-hmm.
And I started and prefaced the message with, I recognize that it's a highly passionate topic for everyone, and there is absolutely nothing that anyone can do that's going to please everyone.
Right.
And I think that's so critical to recognize as we continue to navigate through these, let's pick whichever fun word we want, right? Unprecedented times, new normals, whichever tagline you use.
Sure.
I think it's critical that we all remember that no matter how passionate we are about our opinion, we still may be wrong. Mm-hmm. The other opinions of another person shouldn't be discounted.
No.
And we really just need to give each other an awful lot of grace right now.
Yeah, I know it's cliche, but there's no promise of tomorrow.
Yeah.
There really isn't.
No. Wherever you go now, you have to wear a mask, just about. And like you were saying, it's, either you do or you don't. You're going to come across, if you don't, well, actually some places are making you. And if you don't wear one and you don't have to, you're going to be basically what I have seen is the minority.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And something's going to happen where this person is walking in without one. It's going to come across somebody that either had the COVID or someone that just died from it or something, and something is going to break.
Mm.
And this is where I think the most important message that I can share is we all have to continue to give a lot of grace to one another, because we don't know someone's story. And I have no problem sharing that I am a infrequent mask wearer.
Mm-hmm.
I also am an infrequent in-store shopper because I respect that people are afraid of this. I respect that people have a different opinion than I do.
Mm-hmm.
I ran into a store after church last week and there were a lot of people in there, and I put my mask on. I put it on because it made sense out of respect in that scenario. I've also been that guy that's walked into a store where I was one of a couple people in there and I could stay well away from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless, I don't know if the person that may be upset that I'm not wearing my mask did lose somebody or does have a health concern that I'm unaware of. And
correct.
And I also don't know if the guy in the next aisle that's also not wearing a mask is doing it because of an underlying health condition or something that I can't see.
Absolutely.
What I know is we're all humans. And when that phrase that I also can't stand, we're all in this together. To me, what that means is we're all humans and we're all going through this and we all are navigating in some way.
Mm-hmm.
We just got to give each other a lot of grace.
We all process things different. We really do.
Well, as Joe said, the big word is grace.
Woo. Lots of it.
Mm-hmm.
When does this really hit us? February, March time frame?
March, I think so, about March.
Our pastor at our church last week spent time in Numbers, the book of Numbers, and it was chapter 11. And I just am so focused on that book right now. I've actually read it every day this week because I feel that it's such a relevant message to what we're dealing with today. Moses and dealing with all the people and all the burdens and all the hardship, and he didn't understand, and he finally reaches his breaking point and says, I'm paraphrasing obviously, but God, well, I'm not these people's mother. Why are they latched onto me and depending on me? God, why would you do this to me? And if this is the life you have for me, just kill me now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of people in today's COVID land are feeling that way. And God makes a promise, and it seems so unbelievable to Moses that he questions him. And in verse 23, the Lord answered Moses, "Is the Lord's arm weak? Now you will see whether or not all that I have promised you will happen to you." And I think that's what I continue to refocus myself on every single day this week as I continue to question God and wonder, why are we going through this and what's going on? And man, everybody, get that Bible out, read your Bible, and look at what God's promise is to you. It is coming. His plan is perfect. And this is where, as believers, the rubber meets the road in our faith. And we must believe now more than ever.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And, you shouldn't be in fear, especially if you have Jesus with you, in you. Should not have fear. I've heard some of churches that have opened up, and it's only running at 15 to 20% of the people that actually belong to the church that actually show up.
Mm-hmm.
Where is the other, or why? Where and why is the other 80%? Where are they? And why?
Yep.
Fear.
Absolutely.
There's probably a number of interesting answers that we could come with.
Mm-hmm.
Some of which I've heard, some of which I know. Some families have just gotten comfortable.
Absolutely.
And that was...
They get up when they want to. They don't have to stress with the kids. They don't have to prepare a breakfast and pile in the car and get there. And
I didn't want to go to that one.
Well, I know,
but I knew it was true.
Yeah. Well, I just tend to address the elephant in the room, but I know for a fact it's just easier to do church online. And there again, it comes back to, I think it's personality-based preferences. Do you want to wear a mask or not wear a mask? Do you come to church or do you not come to church? And you've got some diehards out there that would come to church if it was the last day on earth. They're gonna be there. And I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I really do. And you got some that may never come back. They may adopt online church as a way of life.
But it's never been about church, right? I think even when pre-pandemic and pre-everything else, the act of attending church on Sunday morning is pretty minuscule in the grand scheme of your faith, because I've watched so many people, and I was one of them, that I would go through the motions. I was in church every Sunday and I wore a nice shirt. And I
checked that box.
I sat in the front row for a while. I sat right in the splash zone,
and
it was, it didn't change anything though, that I had still not developed a relationship with God. I was just checking boxes and going through motions. So, I also would say, hey, whether they're in church, not in church, online, not online, pajamas, slippers, what are you doing in all the other hours of the week?
Mm-hmm.
Where are you then? Where's your relationship with God then?
Wow. A moment of silence, please.
Yes, there was.
That's a thinker.
It is.
And talk about your 2x4 upside the head.
Yeah, it is.
But I think, Mike, the point that you were making was that in the road you were trying to drive down while Fritz went hard right and I went hard left was there's a lot of people that are staying out of the building, correct me if I'm wrong, but because they're afraid of everything that's going on out there. And is that kind of where you were driving that bus too?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
And again, if you have Jesus, you shouldn't be that way.
You shouldn't be that way. Now, he's also, just because you have Jesus doesn't mean that you should walk up to the top of a tall building and jump off and some fear is healthy and is important to keep us alive. But yeah, within the reason of, come on out of your houses, come on out and do the smart things that we know. Don't go and sneeze in your neighbor's face and ask for that in return. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But we can't walk around afraid.
No, he did not give us a spirit of fear.
No,
but of love
and
self-discipline.
He did give us common sense, though.
He did.
Yeah.
He also tells us pretty clearly in that book that this life is going to end. There's no gray in that. This mortal life, this body that he has gifted to us will perish.
Mm-hmm.
And he promised us an eternal life after that. And I don't think that I know anybody who is rushing to sign up to be done with the life that we have here today. But when you recognize that something's going to get you, leading cause of death is life. If we want to put something down, right? It's going to get you. But if you know that God's promise is something so much better on the other side.
Absolutely.
It makes it not as scary to think about what might get you.
Yep. To live as Christ and to die as gain.
Right.
Who has ever been afraid of gain?
Yeah.
Paul wanted to go.
There you go.
He begged to go.
He did.
He said, nope.
But it's better for me to stay here.
Yep. Got to deal with you numbskulls.
That's basically what he said, kind of, sort of.
I've been poured out like a drink offering. I'm ready. I'm out of here.
Yeah. Wow. But if you're out there and, just press into Jesus. As Joe said earlier, pick up your Bible and read the Bible. Again, if you're stuck at home and everything else, Jesus wants, this is what he's trying to get everyone's attention, believers and unbelievers alike. He wants you to come to him, press into him, pray to him, talk with him, worship him.
And the other thing that is real is the devil. And what you're seeing and what you're hearing out there is the devil at work. That's the loudest voice in the room right now. And when you spend all this extra time that we have right now, and most of us have found some extra time, if you're spending that time with the media, if you're spending that time with online platforms,
the news,
the news,
that's the worst place to be.
Wow.
You're hearing the devil at work because he is making sure that the disinformation gets out there. He's making sure that the fear stays sown.
Absolutely.
So that people are at each other's throats, so that you do potentially reach the boiling point at the grocery store to fight over mask or no mask. And that's where you have to choose where you're going to focus your time and your energy. And what you feed grows. And if you feed your fear, if you read all the information that's coming out and you try to stay educated and up to date, you're just consuming more and more and more and more fear. And that's going to stir up and spin up inside of you. And it's unhealthy.
Yeah. And who's that giving credit to at the end of the day?
Yeah.
Not Jesus.
Nope. The God of this world.
Yeah.
Yeah. I try to make sure that I get outside as often as possible. Because I'm telling you, I get cabin fever all the time.
Sure.
Now. And it's easy. It's easy to sit down on that computer and, I'm
lost.
Researching things. I'm checking my emails. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. Every once in a while, maybe I find an online game to play. But the next thing you know, hours have passed. And I can tell you, getting outside and just going for a walk really clears the mind, gives you time to refocus, rethink.
Especially if you get out there and start talking with Jesus on the way.
It's a good walking buddy.
Yes, he is. Did all the time.
Yeah, you walked 5 miles a day, didn't you, to
And then I went
work
up to
and
10,
back, and then talking with Father all the way.
All the way. It was awesome.
Man, I bet.
It was.
10-mile communion with Father. Oh, I bet he...
Walking down busy roads in Tampa and talking away. I mean, I didn't hide it whatsoever, and I didn't care who saw me talking to myself or whatever. I didn't. And I had people actually carrying my Bible at the same time. And I did have one woman stop when she was at a light, and I had walked down the main road and then started to head towards the office where I was going. She rolled down a window. She says, "God bless you."
Wow.
Yeah.
Never know who's watching, do you?
You don't. You don't
do it for a spectacle or a display, but still.
Well, it's back to that phrase that I love in parenting, but I think it applies to everything. More is caught than taught.
Yeah.
Wow.
We can sit here and we can say all these encouraging words and we can say all these things that we believe, but the reality is that I think that we impact more people when they see us out in action, living out the life that we talk about having.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, agreed. I may be the only Jesus they ever see. They may never don the doors of a church or church function or anything like that. It might be you.
Yes, it might. And, with all these online churches, there's a good way for someone to accidentally enter church.
How about that? Wow.
It's a good time to go church shopping. You know, if you're one of those folks that always feels a little bit awkward walking into church, and again, I'll be the first to raise my hand and say that was me for many, many years of my life.
I hated it.
Didn't want to be that new guy walking into church and, oh my gosh, that friendly usher is going to try and find out your name and everything about you and sit you with these people. And I didn't, and I'm an extrovert.
Were you the no eye contact guy? I was terrible like that. I'd bury my head.
100%. Try to come in just late enough that you can skirt the whole thing.
Exactly. Just catch the message and slip out.
Y'all, every church, I think, out there at this point has figured out how to stream something. So if you've ever wondered what's happening at a church, there's no safer time right now than to say, gee, I wonder what they're doing down on 7th Street, and tune in one Sunday morning, see if it's something you can get on board with. Go church shopping.
You might trip over something that blesses you.
Yeah,
who knows?
Absolutely.
Yep. Wow.
Good gracious.
Mm-hmm.
I think the most important thing, and I'll just keep going back to it, is find those people in your lives right now that need you.
Yeah.
Amen, Joe.
Because they're there.
They are.
We talked about this on What Difference Does God Make on our most recent podcast, but I think it's also important that everybody takes a chance right now to really do a mental health check on the people they love. And for me, it was my oldest son, my 5-year-old. We've been cooped up in that house together for just about a minute too long at this point. And I recognized that I was unfairly losing my temper with him faster and faster every day. And I knew it intuitively, but I hadn't taken the chance to truly process the fact that he's just as stir crazy and over this as I am. And it was
they're just easy targets, bro.
Oh, they are.
They're just easy targets.
They are. And you feel like a real deadbeat after you yell at them for something that's that's insignificant. And but I realized, hey, June was a rough month for me. It was just kind of everything came together at the same time, and reality started setting in. And it was important come early July that I did what I'm saying for everybody out there right now to do that mental health check. Where are you? How you doing? What do you need? Have honest conversations with people, and make sure you're keeping God centered, and that you're being truthful with yourself and those around you with what you need right now.
Amen to that.
Yeah, I would have been one of the first ones before Jesus that I did go without before I would ask for it.
Yep.
I was one of those.
Yep.
And I did it more than once. But Jesus found me.
It's a pride thing.
Sort of, yeah.
I would think for me at least, I don't want to be that guy that has to say that I need help or that I'm a dude, right? I'm supposed to be taking care of the family. I'm supposed to be,
supposed to be the warrior, the fixer, problem solver.
I still giggle a little bit every time you call me a warrior. Thank you for that.
Can't help it, brother. It's in there.
But yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's just in our nature, definitely for men, but I think for humans in general we want to be the ones to fix everything and to have the answer. And hey, breaking news, we don't have it.
No, it's just a upfront look good out there, look at me. And then you look at inside of him and he's as weak as you are.
Yep.
And,
good point, Mikey.
I worked a Celebrate Recovery conference, with you, Fritz, actually once. And I heard a phrase that has stuck with me since that day that I repeat over and over and over again. And I think right now in Covidland, as you've coined it, it's more real now than ever. It's okay to not be okay. It's just not okay to stay that way.
Mm-hmm. Johnny Baker.
There you go. That's the one. That's the man who said it. And it's stuck with me. And I've used that with so many people in so many instances, from my children to my coworkers to my direct reports because it's such a relevant statement. And I think that, again, we're all in that place right now where we are just about fed up.
We are.
Yeah. And we're all trying to figure out okay.
Yeah.
What is okay? If I could just figure that out, I could be that.
Mm-hmm. It's not going to be the old okay. It's going to have to be a new okay.
Oh, that's the truth. That is the truth.
Oh.
And we humans don't like change. You can sit there and kid yourself that you like change. Nobody likes change.
No.
People psychologically like the idea of change. They like what change may represent in the long run at the other end of that long road to change.
So long as it doesn't deal with them.
Yeah, but we hate that in between, from what we know today to what it's going to be tomorrow. We don't like the unknown, and that's where we are right now.
Oh, yeah.
Man, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Well said.
Yeah, really.
Never a truth was spoken right there.
So just remember, if you see your neighbor outdoors and you're just wondering what to do, that person is probably feeling the same way you are, and they're just looking for someone to say, hey, how you doing? Or, hey, want to have some coffee?
Who says no to coffee?
It's
that's a thinker.
It's your neighbors.
That was deep.
That was deep. I'm sitting here thinking,
theology that pours out of my lips. It's unbelievable.
You didn't even offer me coffee tonight.
I didn't.
No.
You did. You said every word but coffee.
That's true. That's true. I didn't get a chance to say no to coffee.
I did you a disservice, sir. Please forgive me.
But yeah, when you're out, neighbors and friends and strangers and whatever, just I agree.
Right. I mean, I was going to say, who's your neighbor?
Yep.
And you just said it.
I was going to say my response would be everybody.
Right.
Everybody, Mr. Rogers.
Yeah.
But be respectful of what you don't know. Be cognizant of CDC guidelines and regulations and
social
recommendations.
distancing.
Hey, we can still stand a few feet away from people and have a conversation. We can still stand a few feet away from people and care.
Right.
What I see and what makes me sad right now is I see people that are listening to the spin, that are listening to the whirlwind, that are listening to everything. And they are terrified, and they are terrified of the air we breathe and the humans that they are interacting with. And I'm watching people scurry away from each other as fast as they can if they're coming near an intersect.
Right.
And that's just as unhealthy as catching a virus.
Or as the people I see driving in a car alone with their mask on.
Well, my favorite is when they are wearing the mask and the face shield and the gloves in the car alone.
I saw people jogging with a face mask on.
Wow.
I did.
Oh my gosh.
That's making you work for it there. You have a good set of lungs.
And that's the fear. That's the fear
that
has consumed us at this point. And it will absolutely devour you if you allow it.
If you allow it. Absolutely.
Yep. Got to read that book.
You'll never hear a single one of us suggest being reckless and being foolish and being careless.
No.
But you'll also not hear us say to be fearful. Because God has very clearly told us that we should not live our lives in fear.
Nope. He'll never leave us or forsake us. He'll hold us up in his righteous right hand.
Absolutely. I never let go of his right hand. Still have my hand.
You got it. You got it, brother. I'm camped out right under his wing. He's got me right under the wing.
Yep.
I'm in good. I am good. I've read Ecclesiastes There's nothing new under the sun.
I was going to say, he put his southern accent on for that one. I've read me some Ecclesiastes.
I was out shooting some Ecclesiastes with my shotgun. No, but it's all meaningless.
All of it.
All of it.
Everything under the sun.
Everything under the sun. This stuff you work hard for. All the cars, the houses, the boats.
The smartest man in the world found out it's all meaningless.
Yep. Good point, Mikey. Listen, this is a blessing to have God Stories Radio, to be a steward of God Stories Radio, and we want to be there for you as well. What is your fears? What are you going through? What are your anxieties? What are your issues? Drop us a line at godstoriesradio@gmail.com or post them on Facebook if you want to, on the Facebook page, and
we can that'll be a topic.
Yeah. So we can talk about it. And we can bring some scripture. Bringing hope and encouragement's been our only agenda since we got started. And here we are 7 years later, 252 episodes. 252.
You both sound very confident about that here at minute 31. Good job. Good job.
Confirmed. Thank you.
Hey, Fritz, anybody hanging out on Mixlr tonight?
Yeah, we got a couple people on Mixlr. Mr. Jay Calhoun is in the house.
Hey, Jay.
Hello, Jay.
I don't know, Joe. I would try to pronounce this. Maybe you can. I don't want to, but
let's go with the initials. Hey, AA, we're glad to see you out there. Apologies that we cannot pronounce that.
I am so sorry I cannot pronounce your name, and that's a beautiful name, though. And where are you from? You can chat with us on Mixlr. Let us know where you're from, where you're listening from. That'd be awesome. Welcome to Mixlr.
For everybody who's listening to this podcast after the fact on your favorite streaming app, God Stories Radio does go live every Thursday night at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So if you wanted to tune in and have a listen, maybe chat with us online, it's a great opportunity to follow the podcast and get notified anytime they go live. That's MIXLR in your app store.
Yep. And they can get to that from the website, God Stories Radio.
Yeah, because if they sign up,
there's a Mixlr tab.
Mixlr tab on there. And if they sign up on our website, when you do tune in, Fritz can see your name.
I can see your name, and I want to say this name so badly, and please forgive me. But if you can figure out how to chat with us, would love to know where you're listening from. That'd be great.
One other thing to throw out there, these two gentlemen sitting here at the table 7 years later, 252 episodes in, are pretty humble guys. So I'll say for them what they don't like to say for themselves. They are running a fundraiser right now on Facebook. Everything they do here is to spread the word of God and hope and encouragement for anyone who's listening. But there are real costs associated with running these types of things. Websites cost money, and these streaming services that bring it to you live cost money. The studio costs money to run. So every dollar that comes in is just a blessing to this ministry that these two gentlemen do. And if you happen to have a little extra change hanging around and want to support them, you can go to God Stories Radio on Facebook and find a small and fairly humble fundraiser.
Thank you, Joe. We do, both Fritz and I, have been putting money out of our pockets since we started each month to do what you had said, the website and so on and so forth. So,
well, check this out, guys. He did drop me a line. He says, my Christian name is Isaac. I'm listening from Nigeria.
Whoa.
It's midnight here, and you are inspiring my soul. God bless you, sirs.
Wow, Isaac, that gave me goosebumps.
Oh my God, the hair standing up on my arm. Nigeria. Wow.
We know a couple pastors in Nigeria.
We do know a couple of pastors in Nigeria.
Wilkins. Obujandi or something.
Yeah. Bajambi? Wilkins? Pastor
Obujambi.
Wilkins?
Yeah.
Welcome, Isaac. Maybe you know Pastor Wilkins. I don't know. But welcome from Nigeria. Wow, listening at midnight. Fantastic. Well, we're glad that you signed up on Mixlr, and you can expect us on Thursday nights at this time if you're staying up late. I'm so glad that you find the show a blessing.
Thank you for tuning in to GSR.
Gosh, thank you so much. And Jay, thank you for welcoming Isaac as well. Fantastic.
Wow.
How awesome is that?
So anyway, go ahead, Fritz. Repeat that again, what you had said, and we can maybe use whatever they give us as topics for upcoming sessions. Yeah,
if you don't mind, just share whatever it is that has been a struggle in your life, that's a fear in your life, and drop us a line at godstoriesradio@gmail.com, and, or drop us something on the Facebook that you don't mind other people seeing, but we would love to get those and address them as topics and speak about them. And if you don't want your name mentioned, we don't have to do that. Right. But we'd love that. We'd love to hear what's going on outside this studio. We know our struggles and what we deal with on a daily basis, and we don't mind talking about them. And hopefully that helps you along the way, But that's what God Stories Radio is all about, God stories, and bringing hope and encouragement to the world.
And we will take anybody that wants to give us a testimony.
We sure will. And that would be godstoriesradiotina@gmail.com for that.
Right. And she'd be able to set you up on our calendar. But if you can't and you're not in the area, then you can just write your testimony. We've read many of them.
That's right.
Or you can call in.
Could call in. Yeah, we could do Skype.
A number of those
Zoom,
too.
Number of them. Love it. Fantastic. Wow, that's great. What a show. Thank you, Joe, for coming.
Yes, Joe, thank you.
It's an absolute pleasure. It's always refreshing, honestly, to sit down with fellow believers and just have a conversation.
Just have a chat all night long.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully our chatting didn't bore you. Hopefully you got a little nugget or two out of there, but drop us a line. I'm really serious about that. Isaac, thank you again from Nigeria. What a blessing. I hope that you tune in again and we get to know each other really well. God bless you and your family over there in Nigeria.
Yes.
And I don't know what the COVID situation is over there, but
it's all over the world.
It's around the world, and we'll be praying for you and your family. So thank you. Thank you so much. Well, guys, I guess about wraps it up for session 252. I'm Fritz.
I'm Mike.
And I'm still not Tina.
God bless you.
God bless.